Well, hi there, Wendy. When you start Audacity, it'll come up blank like this. And the first thing I recommend you do, with your microphone on and talking, is just hit the record button and see if you see anything. Now, I do because mine is set up fine. But what you want to do if you don't see anything is you would go under Edit Preferences. And then at the top, you could choose your devices, and here's where you choose your different input devices. Just try the other one if one isn't working. And then also here is where your playback. So this is where it plays back out through your speakers. And if one isn't working, just pick the other one and try that. And after that, you want to go ahead and adjust your levels. And to adjust your levels, here is this microphone slider, and you want this signal to pretty much fill the display. Now, a very useful thing I recommend you doing is under View, clip the Show Clipping, turn that on, Show Clipping, and that way, watch what happens if there we go, I'm saturating the input. You see these red lines? And that sounds like distortion. So generally, if it's sporadic, it's okay, but you don't want a lot of stuff like that. That's not good. And so if you're getting that, just turn down the level. Now, important to understand in recording is whenever you're recording, there's always two things. One is your signal, your voice or music, drums, whatever. And the other one is noise. So let's listen to the noise for a second, and because the microphone's picking that up too. So I'm going to be quiet for a second. And you might see these little dots here, and if I expand this bigger, you'll see this noise even more. And there's a way to remove noise, which I'll go over at the end. But the best thing is not to get too much noise in the recording. And the way you do that is, one technique is bring the microphone closer to your mouth, not so you're blowing into it, of course, but closer to your mouth, and then you can turn down this amplitude, and that will give you a better recording and less noise. Now, in case this isn't working so far, you're not getting a signal, note that next to your clock, which maybe you can see now, next to your clock there's that little speaker symbol on the Windows PC. If you right-click that, you could select Recording Devices, and right there you see my microphone is selected. Now, when you go to do something like record your dad's CD, just go ahead and play that on your computer and then choose Stereo Mix and hit that as set default. Choose Stereo Mix, and that way when you record in Audacity, you should be recording directly off the CD. But for speaking, you want to use a microphone. And I'm just going to point out here, if you have any issues, there's some other levels you can adjust here. And there's even things like you can put on noise suppression and try that to see if that improves the quality. And if you like your voice like that. So that's just stuff to play around with. But the biggest one is this other one you want to use when you play the CD. And when you do that, you'll just start recording and come back in an hour and hit stop, or an hour and a half. I'll show you how to lead off the end. And then you'll just save that out to file. You'll save it as an MP3, and then I can show you where you can host it with our site or your site or whatever, so your dad's friends can just play it. We could talk about that a little bit more later, but that's basically it. That's the main thing here. Okay, and then of course playback, same thing. You can pick your speakers here too. Now, if you do have to change your settings in Audacity, sometimes you might have to exit and restart, and then it should pick it up if for some reason it doesn't. Okay, great. I'll just do the noise removal. I'll just add that here to show you how, and then the next segment will be using Audacity. So the way noise removal works is, I'm going to be quiet for a sec. Okay, you see this part here where there's no noise or no signal? What you do is you just select some part where there's just pure background like this, and you go under Effect, and there's Noise Removal, and then you just say, okay, well, go ahead and capture this profile here that I have. So you click Capture the Profile, and then the next step is you select your whole track. Control A will select everything. And then you just go under it one more time, Effect Noise Removal. And now we're doing step 2. And you just leave these defaults. They're quite well set. And then you just hit OK. And then it's going to go ahead and remove noise, that noise profile from this whole track. So let's see if it did that well, and somehow it removed a little bit too much. So something was a little bit off there, and that might be this version of Audacity. Let me see which version I have here. There was a problem in that in one of their versions. I think it was version 13. The version you have should be fine. It was fine being 12 and all before that, but they did something in 13. I think you'll get 14, so you'll be fine if you want to do that. Okay, I'm going to stop there and make the second segment how to use Audacity.